Hello, my name is David Nachman. I'm one of the managing attorneys at the NPZ Law Group. We have offices located in northern New Jersey and central New Jersey and New York City, and we also have satellite offices in Canada and in India. And thank you very much for joining me. This is the second in a series that I call the Cure for Coronavirus Boredom in Quarantine. We're in our second week of quarantine here in northern New Jersey. And many of the questions that we've been receiving from human resource managers across the country and around the world has to do with the possibility of or the need to plan for either layoffs or terminations of H-1B non-immigrant workers, as well as other non-immigrant visa classifications. So it's not just H-1Bs that are being affected by this whole pandemic, pandemic, but it's also other non-immigrants. So as everyone is aware, businesses are being affected economically, detrimentally. While there has been an economic stimulus package proposed in the United States, it's still to be determined how the practicalities of that stimulus package are going to shake out. So in the meantime, and certainly last week and going into the beginning of this week, we're getting a lot of calls from human resource managers like yourselves who want to know what steps need to be taken in a layoff, furlough, or termination situation in the event that your company plans to do that with regard to H-1B non-immigrants. So specifically with regard to H-1Bs, as many of you know, you cannot bench an H-1B, which means that if you lay an H-1B off and put them into non-productive status, they still need to be paid their productive wage, and that's the wage that was offered to them on the labor condition application, which was the predecessor application with the U.S. Department of Labor that underlies the H-1B non-immigrant petition. And so that's the first thing that needs to be looked at. There is a possibility of filing an amendment to the H-1B, and obviously when you file that amendment, immediately you can take advantage of portability and you can move the individual to, let's say, a part-time position, immediately cutting back on their hours. So that may be one way to relieve the stress on the employer with regard to the wage. But if you're going to terminate, and terminate usually comes in the form of a severance agreement, and if you decide on doing a severance agreement, you need to, of course, offer the return transportation home to the individual. It does not have to be to everyone in the family, but return transportation needs to be offered. Now, when I say that the has to be offered, what you can do is through a severance agreement, you can offer the return transportation to the individual and then make it contingent upon the individual presenting you with a receipt to show that they've actually spent the money to return home. So that might be something that you want to look into doing. Now, there is a case in the state of New Jersey called Pegasus, and in that case, the U.S. Department of Labor Wage and Hour Division made it perfectly clear that in order to show a clear break in the relationship with the H-1B employee, in order to terminate, you want to withdraw the H-1B. We, as a matter of practice, because we feel it's best practice, not only withdraw the H-1B petition itself, but we also go an additional step and withdraw the labor condition application. And we also encourage the employer to have a discourse by email with the employee to clearly sever the relationship. And the reason why that relationship needs to be severed is because if it's not clearly severed, potentially that employee may have an ongoing wage obligation, which the employer should not be liable for in the future. So there are a lot of really complex issues that surround the realm of employee termination, furlough, and layoff. These issues seem to be extremely poignant given the current circumstances surrounding the coronavirus pandemic. If any of you have any questions with regard to how to handle a particular matter in this regard, please feel free to reach out for us. You can visit our website at www.visaserv.com, where we have a lot of great resources about layoffs, furloughs, and terminations of H-1B non-immigrants as well as other non-immigrants. Or you can feel free to email me directly at info@visaserv.com. Thanks very much for being with me. We look forward to being of assistance to you, your company, and your staff. Bye for now.